Music is full of half steps and whole steps. If you've ever wondered what they are, I'm going to explain them to you today. Hi, this is Jenny with the Musical Homestead, and today we're going to answer the question, what is a half step and what is a whole step? Half steps and whole steps, they're kind of like the building blocks for so many things in music. And if you don't know what they are, well, then you're not going to be able to build tall towers. We got to figure out what they are so we can build those really, really tall towers and understand music. This lesson is a part of our elementary theory track, which is geared towards the kindergarten through 5th grade learner. If you're in 6th grade through adult and you want to figure out what these are, half steps and whole steps, I have a lesson for you and I'm going to link that in the description below. If you've been following along with us in our textbook, The Fundamentals of Piano Theory, today we are in Unit 7 on page 32. And it might be a really good thing to pick that up if you haven't been. This textbook has a lot of really good information in it and I have videos teaching through all of it. I'm going to link that in the description below as well. Now it's time to answer our question, what is a half step and what is a whole step? In order to know the difference between half steps and whole steps, we have to know the definition for both a half step and a whole step. If you've been going along with us in our theory book, we talked about half steps in our last lesson, but I'm going to explain it again really quickly. A half step on the piano is when we go in this pattern from white to black to white to black to white to white, black, white, black, white, black, white, white. I am going from one note or key to the next note or key. Now you can see I have some arrows drawn here. It's showing you a half step can either go from a white key to a black key, a white key to a white key, or a black key to a white key. Half steps can go higher or go lower. You just always have to follow that pattern. If you are learning some scales right now, it might be fun for you to learn the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale is when you go from one of these notes, so white, black, and follow that pattern all the way up from one note name to the next note name. Now down here on my music staff, I have drawn my A, and then I have gone up a half step to my A sharp. My A is right here. When I go up a half step, I go to this A sharp right there. Now wait a second. I remember learning about something called enharmonic notes. That's when one note can have two different names. Is there another name for this black key? Maybe another answer that would be correct to go up a half a step from this A? Oh, there is. Okay, now I remember this. I'm gonna go up to my B and I am gonna think about this note in terms of B. So I'm gonna go down a half step. Oh, that's a B flat. This note can be A sharp or B flat. Down here, both of these answers are correct. Both of these answers are a half a step higher from my A. So here I have my A. I've gone up a half a step to my A sharp or my B flat. Now let's go ahead and try it over here. I have my E, which is right here. I want to go down a half a step. So the easy way, the first way we're going to do it is this E flat. So here's my E. I go down a half step. There's my E flat. But I know, and harmonically, there's another way that I can look at this. So can you help me figure out what that note would be? I think I need to think about it in terms of D. So let's draw a D first. And then I have to go up a half step. So it's going to be D sharp. This black key right there, come up here, this black key right here can be E flat or D sharp. If I'm going down a half step from E, both of those answers are correct. Think about that as you're going through your book and as you're thinking about half steps. Now that you know what a half step is, we're going to talk about what a whole step is. If you look up here, 2 half steps are going to equal 1 whole step. Now when we look at the piano, you want to think about it this way. Remember our pattern, white, black, white, black, white, white, black, and so on. Those are all of our half steps. A whole step is going to be when we have 2 of those half steps together. 1 half step, 2nd half step. So from C to D is a whole step. And I have some arrows up here. We're going to talk about some of these different whole steps and how they look on the piano. If I'm going to go from this note, a whole step up, I'm going to go half step, and so the whole step goes from E to this F sharp right there. Whole steps can also go from black key to black key, because this black key to this white key is 1/2 step. White key to black key is another 1/2 step. So black to black, that's 1 whole step. And over here, it can also go from black to white. Here I have black to white is 1, white to white is 2. So there are my 2 1/2 steps. So my whole step goes from black key to white key. Now down here, I've drawn some examples for you. Here I've started with the letter A, and I want to go a whole step higher. And what I always like to do, this is kind of my little hint. If you're looking at the musical staff and you're trying to figure out whole steps and half steps, either imagine, look at a piano, feel the piano keys, do something to see visually what a piano keyboard looks like. That is going to help you when you're trying to figure out whole steps. So A is going to be up here. Now I know I want a whole step, so I'm going to count my half steps. White to black is 1/2 step. Black to white is another 1/2 step. So A to B then becomes my whole step if I'm going up a whole step. Now down here, I'm going to start on a D, and I have to go down a whole step. Here is my D note. D down to this black key is a 1/2 step. Black key to white key is another 1/2 step. So those are 2 1/2 steps. D down to C is going to be my whole step. Now here's an example over here of black to black. So here I have a G sharp. I actually have this up here. Here is my G sharp right here. And I need to go up a whole step. So black to white is 1/2 step. White to black is another 1/2 step. This G sharp to A sharp is going to be my whole step. Whenever you see notes that are on a musical staff, find a keyboard, picture a keyboard in your head. That is going to make half steps and whole steps so much easier to find. Now you know what the difference is between half steps and whole steps. We're going to use them in the next lessons, so make sure you understand what they are. It's your turn to do your homework if you're following along with us in our textbook. The homework is only 2 pages today, so it should not take very long. You'll get it done pretty quickly. I also have created a wonderfully fun game to help you know the difference between half steps and whole steps, and I'm going to link that video in the description below. Please check it out. I promise it is going to be so much fun. You can play with, I don't know, your friends, your parents, maybe your piano teacher. It is a lot of fun, so check it out. I know it was a lot of fun for me to teach you about half steps and whole steps today. I hope you learned something new. If you did, do me a favor before you go. Click the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and turn the bell on so you don't miss any of our fun games and activities coming your way. And always remember, until I see you next time, have fun learning music.